The Pokemon Direct came out very recently, and we've been trying to do this intro for fucking ever, so you know what? We're just gonna get into this.
I'm Will.
You know my name, just look at the fucking channel.
Whoa. Anyway, right into this we go then.
Alright, so the first thing that we obviously have to talk about is the new Pokemon that were shown off during the Direct.
Who are we talking about first?
Those Pokemon would be Wooloo, Gossifleur, Dreadnought, Corviknight, and Eldegoss.
So I guess we'll go in order then.
Yep.
Starting with Wooloo. It's disappointing. We have Mareep. Mareep's already better. Why would you ruin a good thing? Like,
I get what you mean, but it's probably just a Pokemon. I mean, they're obviously going at some point going to have to make some Pokemon that kind of resemble others. They're not always going to be able to make completely original Pokemon.
now I'm not asking for completely original. I'm just asking for, if you have something good, you got to make something better.
That's why I'm not saying it's the best Pokemon, but you never know what it could turn into.
Or what it could not turn into.
You're right.
Anyway, what was the next one?
The second Pokemon is Gossifleur.
I think they were going for like a cutesy kind of thing with this one.
Yeah, I can see that.
With the flower and the red leaves or red flower, whatever its hair is made out of. I think they're supposed to be red leaves.
I mean, I think it's a decent design.
No, it's a decent design. It's
just how good will it and its evolution be?
Yeah.
Because you never know how many of each type they're going to make in this game. This could be a pretty decent grass type, and there's a possibility it could turn into it could have a third evolution.
Yep.
That they're just not showing yet.
What does it evolve into again?
It evolves into Eldegoss.
Now, is this also just plant, or do we have a typing for this yet?
It's just grass.
Just grass.
Yep, they're both just grass.
It looks puny.
Yeah, until until it Gigamaxes. Gigamax?
Dynomax?
Dynomax. Whatever the fuck it's called.
We'll talk about that later then.
And our varying opinions.
Indeed. What was the next one?
The next one would be Dreadnought, the bite Pokemon, which should have already been given to at least one of the other 800 Pokemon.
It's only like the 5th turtle they've introduced.
Yeah, I get
However,
that.
it is our very first rock water type Pokemon.
Yes, it is. And it's a very cool design.
I mean, again, we've had turtles before. For me, it's just a rock water grottle.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, I liked that generation. I liked all those starters, so I'm still cool with it.
Yeah.
And it has potential.
It definitely does. I saw somebody made a SKU online for like what its shiny could be, and they basically turned it into Bowser. That'd be amazing.
That'd be funny.
I would love that, but Nintendo, or I should say Game Freak, they're not going to do that. And our final Pokemon would be the Raven Pokemon Corviknight.
Now, I like the design of it. It has potential. It's one of those, is this a base form Pokemon, or is it going to evolve, though?
Yeah, I'm very confused on if it's like a first, second, or third form, or if it's just a bird that has only one form. It could be that.
We won't know till the future.
We won't. However, because I'm going to be doing this on YouTube, I don't know if I'm going to use this one either, because everybody is going to use it. I want to be different. I want to stand out. I want to use my own Pokemon team, and I feel like everybody's going to use this.
Well, that's because everybody likes having a flying type. Flying is a...
That's why I'm hoping they'll have a different bird.
So, I mean, they're probably going to bring back some of the other ones. So
if they bring back Staravia, I'd be so happy.
No, I got dibs on that.
You can have dibs on it on your own goddamn playthrough, but in my main one, I'm using it. That is all of the new Pokemon that were shown off during this Direct. The next big thing that we should talk about is the wild area.
Now, when I originally saw this, I thought it was going to be like a safari zone.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know, the wild area, the safari zone. You go in, you're given a certain amount of steps or a certain amount of time to catch as many Pokemon as you can, and then you get kicked out. But that's not what it is. What exactly is this area of wildness?
The wild area is a place between the very center city and the very next town or city that is to the south of it, where it's like this very big open world area where you can roam around, you can use complete camera control. There are Pokemon that are just out there in the wild, like in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And depending on the time, the weather, where you are in this area, that will determine what kind of Pokemon you can catch.
I definitely like the idea of the Pokemon wandering around so you can see what you're going up to try and catch.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if they're going to bring back, like they did in Pokemon Ultra Sapphire, Omega Ruby, where it's going to give you a little bit of foresight into the Pokemon and potentially give you a chance to catch a rarer form of that Pokemon, you know, like with the Poochyenas that had Ice Bite.
Yeah, I really like that part of Omega Ruby and Omega Alpha Sapphire. I can't even say the names right. But I really like that functionality.
Let's just hope they bring it back.
I would not be upset with it.
Another thing with the wild area is, I believe it's multiplayer compatible, correct?
Yep, and I believe what you're talking about would be the max raid battles, which would then be able to let you Dynomax your Pokemon.
So, the max raid battle allows you and 3 other players to go in and battle a enlarged boss in a raid format battle like in Pokemon Go. These areas are spread out throughout the wild area, giving you a chance to catch Pokemon that are not exactly available in the specific areas. It's a rarer Pokemon giving you a chance to help complete that Pokédex.
Mm-hmm. And going off of those max raid battles, you are going up against Dynomax Pokemon, and we have varying opinions on the Dynomax Pokemon.
Oh boy, do we ever.
I personally don't mind it. I have to see how it plays, but you, on the other hand...
I don't care for the Dynomax Pokemon. The thing with the Dynomax Pokemon is they say it's a very strategic, involved process where your Pokemon enlarges and becomes more powerful and can do stronger moves, which is what more powerful means for those of you who are idiots like me. But my only issue with that is if that enlarged Pokemon has a higher stats, higher defense, higher attack, you would have to Dynamax your own Pokemon to beat that Pokemon. Or can you beat a Dynamax Pokemon with a regular Pokemon? It's all about the power boost that is getting from this Dynamax.
I mean, yeah, I get that. But
it's like you said, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, because if you can beat Dynamax Pokemon, then I can see some strategy in it. If you cannot, then yeah, there might be a little bit of a problem.
If you cannot beat a Dynamax Pokemon, that's going to force you to either get your team curb stomped or Dynamax your own Pokemon, which really doesn't lead to a strategy.
Yeah.
So, again, we have to wait for further details. Who knows when it's coming out? Could be August 31st for all we know.
We'll get into why we say that a little later. for those of you who haven't heard of it yet. So, next, we should talk about the characters that we learned about during the Direct.
So, the first character we are introduced to is the Champion. The Champion, Leon. Now, first off, that's a boss-ass name. The guy looks boss. He's what you expect a champion to be. You know, cape, adoring fans, everyone loves him. He's a champion. All he needs is a WWE belt.
Also, I don't know if you noticed in the Direct, but they talked about how, on record, he has a perfect record. He's never lost an on-record battle.
The other thing with Leon, that you know he's an OP trainer, is he picks the best Pokemon. As we saw with him picking Charizard, because Charizard is boss.
Charizard definitely is boss.
Moving on, we have our rival. His name is Hop. And he is Leon's little brother. Who names their child Hop? Like, you give the older son Leon. Fucking boss-ass name for a fucking boss-ass character. And then you give the little brother Hop.
I mean, there are people out there who name their kids like Apple and North.
But it's... And the fact that he's your rival, the Champion's little brother is your rival, it's... I don't know. I'm indifferent. I just can't get over his fucking name. Like, you give it one child fucking Leon, boss ass name, and the other one Hop. It's like, here, we're just gonna make you live in the shadow of your older brother for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Before we move on from Hop, I just wanted to mention that it is honestly pretty annoying that it is another one of those friendly rivals. I understand that it's like you're supposed to be looked at as the bigger, tougher, stronger, meaner person, but when it comes to us playing the game, I would rather be the one going against somebody like Gary rather than them going up against me as if I'm Gary.
It's definitely a lot easier to beat somebody into the ground who's an asshole than to beat somebody into the ground who said, here, I can loan you $5.
And it's more satisfying. It's more satisfying to beat somebody like Gary than it is to beat fucking Hop. Although I will say, before we move on from Hop, it's kind of unfortunate that we can't name him.
Yeah, I just realized that too. I just realized we couldn't name Howie in Sun and Moon too. That's how fucking far off I am.
It's, I think it's been, yeah, it's been since Generation 4 that we have not been able to name our rivals. Alright, moving on. I know you have a word for this one. We have the Professor Magnolia.
Mahogany.
You really wanted it to be Mahogany. And in our original Direct talking back in February, you predicted that it was going to be Mahogany, and you were pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, I typically know Magnolia as a flower, but I think we had this discussion too, that Magnolia is a tree.
Yep, it is both.
What about Professor?
It's nice to have another female professor, rather than Oak, Birch, Rowan. And she's definitely no Kukui, unlike her assistant, and granddaughter, and the one that's getting looted all over the internet, Sonya! But, yeah, you actually have a theory on Sonya, don't you?
I did?
Yeah, you fucking brought this up like 3 times last night.
Are you sure?
Yes! You're like, I think she's gonna turn evil. I think she's gonna be the main bad guy.
Are you sure?
100%.
Anyway, I have this theory that Sonya's gonna turn evil. I kind of forgot about this theory till like 2 minutes ago. Not even.
Until I brought it up. But yeah, that's mainly all the characters that we got introduced to. And then Well, we kind of introduced one more character.
Well, we have one more.
We have one more character.
Babyface.
The baby-faced, no-nose, gigantic arms, gigantic-bodied Milo. And Milo is, I'm gonna guess, the first gym leader of the Galar region.
Which means grab your fire types, ladies and gentlemen, because he is a grass type user.
But yeah, I like how the gyms now are like these gigantic arenas, or stadiums I should say. And I like how it's now being televised throughout the entire Galar region.
I do, I like that too. One question I do have is, if you noticed in the Direct, Milo has 6 Pokeballs. Is our first gym going to be using 6 Pokemon?
And then after that, will all of them use 6 Pokemon or something of that nature? Because
I mean, it definitely upped the ante.
yeah, I would actually prefer that, because whenever you go into like the first 3 gyms, maybe even 4, they normally don't have more than like 3 Pokemon. And I mean, come on, these are the gym leaders. They should have more than 2-3 Pokemon, because they need to test your strength on each of these types. Can't think of the word. Types. They need to test your strength against all of the different types that they own, and for them to only have like 2 Pokemon, that's just, it's not, if you have the right type, you're just gonna blow through the team in 3 seconds.
Another thing I noticed with this is it's an open arena. Does that mean that there aren't going to be challenges or other trainers? You just walk in, you fight the big boss, and you're like, ah, I'm done, bye!
Or will there potentially be something along the lines of like, he welcomes you to the gym, and then maybe he goes, you have to fight these 2 trainers, and if you beat them, then you can face me, or will it be something like that? But I think now is the perfect time to get into that, because somebody noticed, I might as well say his name because he's the first one that I saw noticed it. He is like one of like the pretty big Pokemon channels, and his username would be Shady Penguin. He noticed that on the back of your jersey when you walked into the stadium back in the February Direct, that your number was 227, which was the date that that Direct came out. When you walked into the gym or stadium on the 5th, it was 65, which was the same date. But when we got a little glimpse of the back of Milo, the number on his back was 831. So what we're thinking, and what everybody else is thinking at this point, is we're going to be getting more information on the 31st of August. However, I don't know if the Pokemon Company would do that, mainly because that would be on a Saturday, and normally people or companies like to get their information out during the weekdays rather than the weekends. The next important thing that we should talk about is the legendary Pokemon on the, of course, the box art for the games. For Sword, it would be Zacian, and for Shield, it is Zamazenta.
I like Zamazenta's design. I like how the whole shield aspect is part of him. But Zacian, the sword, is literally just a dog with a sword in its mouth. You couldn't have put a little bit better planning, you know, make his tail a sword, give him a horn that's a sword, make him have giant claws that are kind of sword-like. Like, nah, just play fetch with a sword. That's the best they could come up with.
Yeah. That's a little unfortunate for Zacian.
Zamazenta, I enjoyed the shield is part of him, it looks sturdy, it looks good.
Yeah,
Zacian
definitely.
It's just kind of like, I found this stick, I like it.
Yeah.
That's my only issue with them. Otherwise, they're definitely interesting. We have dog legendaries again, because we've never had dog legendaries before.
We always need more dogs, even though I'm a cat person. Where's the cat legendaries? Show me some of them.
Oh yes, Meowth and Persian. But
Well,
they
like,
aren't
that's it.
legendaries.
Yeah, they're not legendaries. I want a legendary cat. But yeah, after that ramble, let's move on to like the very last thing that we should probably talk about. So the last thing that we should talk about is the release date for Pokemon Sword and Shield. And when I predicted the release date in my prediction video for Nintendo and its E3 conference, I predicted that it was going to be the 22nd. However, I was off by 1 week, and I thought that it would come out 1 week before Thanksgiving, but it looks like it's going to come out 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
So, November, be ready.
Yeah, be ready. I'm about to drop the best Pokemon content you have ever seen, and then I'm going to get 50,000 dislikes.
What about the box art? How do you feel about the box art?
I think it could be a little more designed.
I understand what you're saying. And the front of the boxes, now that I think about it, it really doesn't look like the legendaries all that much. But then again, we are comparing an HD rendering to a 2D picture.
Yeah.
So,
also, I will say before we end this video, I really like the idea of the double pack. It has been, it has been 20 years, something like that they've been selling separate games of Pokemon, and it's taken them this long to be like, yeah, we should package them together.
now the question is it going to be 2 games on 1 card, or is it going to give you both cards?
Good question, actually. I never thought of that. I just kind of assumed that they were going to give you both of the cards. Or cartridges, I should say.
That's what I at first that's what I thought too, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know why they couldn't. I mean, other than memory space and storage and whatnot, but most of that's on the devices anymore. So, again, more details we shall see.
And I also hope that they decide to put, like a discount kind of on it. Because the Pokemon games are going to be $60 each. So if they could come out with like $100 for the double pack, that would be pretty cool.
Well, thanks for joining us today. I'm William.
And this has been ConnorCondria.
Thank you and have a good day. Also, hit that subscribe and like button, please.
It would help me out so much if you could subscribe and turn on those notification bells while liking the video. Also, if you want to leave a comment down below, leaving us your thoughts, I wouldn't mind getting into a discussion with you guys. So, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.